Good morning. It's September 27, 2016. I'll call the Wright County Board meeting to order. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The minutes of September 20th.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I will second that.
Motion by Potter, second by Hewsom. Any further discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries unanimous. The agenda. Bob, you had an item.
Yes, Board, right. We used fuel cards for the first time, so I'm going to put that under my agenda. It's the abstract authorization to pay those. So I'll put that under my timed items.
Number 2.
Okay, so 913, which is C number 2. Fuel card abstract. Anybody else? Otherwise, I do have, I got just a question on tomorrow's committee agenda as far as some of the times on a couple of things. So I'll just bring that up at D. Item for consideration D. Tomorrow's schedule. Is there a motion to approve with the 2 additions?
So moved.
Motion by Potter, second by Hewsom. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries unanimous. The consent agenda. Anything to remove for further discussion? We just got the one item on there. Claims.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
Motion by Commissioner Potter, second by Commissioner Delight. Any further discussion?
Switch the wrong way.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries unanimous. 9:05 a.m. Captain Hoffman. Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Today we have the 2017 Minnesota Department of Public Safety Towards Zero Death Enforcement Grant. This is an annual grant the Sheriff's Office receives to supplement its traffic safety initiatives. This year's grant is in the amount of $27,200. The Sheriff's Office is requesting the board to sign the resolution authorizing Sheriff Joe Hagerty to execute this grant. It is a non-matching grant.
Mr. Chair, I will make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Commissioner Hewsom, second by Commissioner Delight. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
what do you guys utilize? What do you utilize these funds for? I mean, what do you do to accomplish the Towards Zero Death?
Sergeant Butch Darso is in charge of our DWI enforcement campaigns. We will schedule extra shifts for deputies to work specific details, certain locations, high saturation times. So these are over and above our normal enforcement duties, extra shifts.
Strictly DWI or distracted driving as well?
Some of them have there's been seatbelt campaigns, there have been the distracted driving campaigns that we've done. So throughout the year, the state of Minnesota will come out with different campaigns that they'll advertise throughout the state.
So these are an enhancement to those programs too?
I'm sorry?
These are an enhancement to those programs that come out from?
It's all part of that. If it all depends on availability. If we have the officers available to work extra duty during those campaigns. This used to be Howard Lake, Annandale, and Buffalo used to participate in this, but I don't believe 2 of the 3 are currently participating.
Yeah, some of the things, the distracted driving, DWI, the seatbelt, and speed. So those were some of the targeted areas.
Correct.
I got a question, Todd. Do you know statistically, is there more injuries and deaths from distracted driving than DWIs now? Or what is the relationship from one to the other as far as the most accidents and injuries.
You know, that I couldn't say for sure. I know the alcohol-related fatalities over the years have gone down in
Way
Wright
down,
County. With the proliferation of the cell phones, I could only venture to guess, and what we see is probably at the level or surpassed DWIs, but.
Well, that would be my thought too, and I think I kind of heard some numbers consistent with that, and just the only concern I have, and it looks like there's 10 hours spent on DWI for every 1 hour on distracted driving, and maybe those things need to kind of
Well,
balance themselves out a bit, I don't know.
when the law enforcement officers are out on the street, by the driving conduct, you know, it's a lot of the same conduct that you see with distracted driving, you see with DWIs, because it's the inability to do two things at one time. You know, whether they're on their phone or they're intoxicated, they may be swerving. So by doing those enforcements, you're doing both at once.
Sure, understood. Okay. Do we have a motion in a second yet?
Yes, you do.
Okay, any further discussion?
Is this a resolution? Because I
Yes,
see
it is.
that there's two different things, but.
Okay, so it's in resolution format. Okay, yeah, here it is, right here, okay. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, Commissioner Burrell?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Resolution carries unanimous. Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, 9:08 a.m. We've got Kelly Stry, Brittany Ike, and Matthew Newman here with our 4-H program.
And somebody else too. No.
Matthew,
Hello,
good morning. Thanks for coming in today.
Hello, my name is Matt Newman. I'm the president of the Wright County 4-H Federation and a member of the Farside 4-H Club in Maple Lake. The Wright County 4-H Development Program is an organization for young people, kindergarten through 1 year past high school graduation. Minnesota 4-H offers age-appropriate hands-on learning through projects and activities, including 4-H Club, special interest groups, after-school programs, volunteering, civil engagement, and community service, and much more. Wright County 4-H program has 22 4-H clubs and over 600 members and 150 plus adult volunteers. In addition to community clubs, our program reaches over 700 Wright County youth through partnership programs in several communities. This week, the week of October 2 through 8, 2016 is the annual celebration of the National 4-H Week nationwide. This week is a time to celebrate the many great things about becoming a 4-H member. The week is also a time to showcase our organization in our communities and recruit new members. Clubs and members will be working hard to get out the word about 4-H. To assist with our promotion efforts, Wright County 4-H would like to ask the Wright County Board of Commissioners to declare October 2 through 8th as National 4-H Week in Wright County. 4-H youth across the nation are leading efforts to solve problems in their communities and make a difference in their futures. 4-H is one of the largest youth development organizations in Minnesota and largest in the nation with 6 million young people. 4-H in Minnesota claims 65,000 youth members and 10,500 adult volunteers, while Wright County's 4-H program numbers more than 630 members and 150 volunteers. As a part of the University of Minnesota Extension, it is a program where youth can learn through opportunities that promote them hands-on experience in 4-H mission mandates of science, engineering, technology, healthy living, and citizenship. 4-H has connected youth and their communities with the innovative research and resources from our nation's 106 land-grant universities and colleges for more than 100 years.
Okay. Well, thank you, Matthew.
Did a nice job on that.
I think the board does recognize how valuable 4-H is to the county. I know I'm a former 4-H member. Commissioner Burrell, I believe you are.
No.
No, you're not? How could you not be? Anybody else?
Right here.
Commissioner Potter?
Grandchildren.
Tom Peralta in the room here. Prairie Go-Getters?
Country cousins.
Not single four leaves and before that, purple, blue, red,
Okay.
blue ribbons.
Anybody else in the room? Any of our, which clubs were you in Wright County or other counties?
In Washington County,
Okay.
Hanover County,
And,
Polk County,
okay. P-O-P-E or P-O-L-K?
Yo,
Pope, okay. Okay.
By Douglas.
And what club are you a member of?
The Far Side 4-Hers,
And what township is that from?
Maple Lake Township.
Okay. Well, great. Any questions for Matthew?
Did a great job,
Yeah,
Matthew.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So you're skipping school today?
Just this morning.
Oh, I see. So you volunteered to do this, or just to be able to get out of school for the morning? No?
Put this in, this 4-H week, that's pretty
Okay.
important.
Commissioner Potter has asked that we get a picture in the paper with our president of the 4-H Federation, correct?
Yes.
So could we go ahead and do that?
We get down to the
When we
vote.
get done with the vote here. So we do have a resolution in front of us, and Matthew had read the resolution for the most part here. I think it ended up with, the last component of it was, therefore be it resolved that the Wright County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim October 2nd through the 8th, 2016 is National 4-H Week in Wright County. We urge the people of this community to take advantage of the opportunity to become more aware of this special program that enhances our young people's interests in their futures as part of Wright County 4-H youth development, and to join us in recognizing the unique partnership between our county and the University of Minnesota.
Mr. Chair, I'll move forth that resolution.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Burrell, second by Commissioner Potter. Any further discussion?
Just one caveat is that, back, I think, when I was growing up, it was more geared towards farming and that sort of stuff, but now it's changed so much. I mean, it's much more technology involved and that sort of stuff. So it's kind of growing with the times, too.
Yeah, a
with
lot
what
of
it
city kids that
Yes,
used to be more
yes.
just, if you lived in the country, and now it's expanded. So, of course,
yeah.
a lot of country kids still probably predominate, but yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It has openings for all, but there still is that great agricultural
Yep.
aspect that still exists as well. And if you go to the county fair, you'll see that with all the animals exhibits, among the other exhibits too.
Yeah, it is a lot more inclusive, I think, than what it used to be.
Roll call vote. Commissioner Hewsom.
Aye.
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 The resolution carries unanimous, and if we can get a photo, Ed, would you be so kind as to help us out with that? Oh, we got, 4-H has got camera here too, so. Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, well, congratulations on your work. Yeah, 4-H. Oh.
Did you call Commissioner Burrell to find out?
Okay, thanks for coming in, everybody. Shortly after 9:13, Bob Hevala, Auditor Treasurer, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Board. The first item on the agenda is to approve the 5-year SAS agreement with OpenGov with the option to decline renewal years of 4 and 5. Board, I believe that the OpenGov contract was brought to the Technology Committee, or to a committee. They worked their way out. I believe we negotiated an opt-out of OpenGov for years 4 and 5 if we do it within 90 days, before 90 days of the end of the third year. So before you is a contract that has all those stipulations. I believe OpenGov did negotiate keeping the contract rate the same for all 5 years, even though we may not be with them for years 4 and 5. The Board, in your packet would be a 5-year SAS agreement committing us to the 3 years with an automatic renewal for years 4 and 5.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I was involved in this, and, yeah, we did negotiate an out for years 4 and 5. I felt, I didn't like having a 5-year tie-in without knowing what we were gonna be able to do with this. Talking to some different departments, they're looking forward to it. They've experimented with it. They find it's gonna make life simpler for them, easier to utilize some of their budget information. I felt that 2 years wasn't long enough to get a real good feel for it, but 3 years was. There's a reason why we need to do this today instead of next week, and it's because of the OpenGov's contract with the GSA, that prices change next week, and because of the GSA and their auditing and that sort of stuff, we will save $20,000 by agreeing to it today over next week.
How does this compare to what was offered to us about a month and a half ago or so?
Commissioner Swatsky, I believe it's the same. I believe they honored
Except
those,
we have the
except for we
option.
have the
Yeah.
2-year out option.
Yeah. So this doesn't lock us in for the whole 5 years.
So that means we get the free steak knives in, is that what you're saying?
No, there was no steak knives ever.
Oh, there wasn't, that was just
That was,
hyperbole.
that was
Okay.
Bob trying to
Okay. Sweeten the
make us-
pot.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Board, if I can please go back to the video, I believe that was Commissioner Delyden's take.
No, actually, I think it was Commissioner Swatsky's. With Ginsu knives is what he was hoping.
And Mr. Chair, too, we did get really good reviews from Anoka County has had this for a number of years, and they really, really like it, so I think it's worth a try.
The funding is gonna come from, for this time period, it's gonna come from the
CIP.
web development funds. This is gonna be utilized now and in the future for improving transparency to the public on being able to drilling down where the budget is, where the spending is. Human Services will find, is really on board on this. They really want to utilize it. They figure it'll be so much easier for their supervisors to be able to drill down where their budgets are comparative to the way we use our audit, our financial system. And I can't remember the name of it.
IFS.
IFS, which from my understanding, the Sheriff's Department has, unless you utilize IFS a lot, it's very difficult to navigate. So, I'll make a motion to approve this for the 3 years, with that 4 and 5 year, as the option. And I would recommend that we would bring this back, 90 days before the 4th year so that it can be, or actually send it to the
Technology.
Technology Committee 6 months before the end of the 3rd year.
I'll second that.
Okay,
Mr.
motion by
Chair.
Commissioner Delyden, second by Commissioner Burrell.
I checked with Lee, Commissioners, could you authorize me to sign this on behalf of the county? Then I can get expedited over to them.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So Commissioner, our Auditor Treasurer Hevelo will sign then. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, and then I did have a discussion with our auditor, that this will be accessible to the public starting roughly when, if we get it going.
It will come aboard. One of the things is, I was exploring how we could use it internally. I definitely want to engage you commissioners and department heads on how we would exploit this to,
But
not exploit.
it is built so that the public will be able to use this
Absolutely.
at some point, so.
Yeah,
One
it
of
would
the
probably
things-
take us probably 4 or 5 months to get it up and running,
My guess.
to utilize.
Commissioners, I do intend to, now that you've authorized, I do intend to use it for TNT. Again, if it's meaningful, we're going to use it. But otherwise, I would envision, like Commissioner Delyden said, in about 6 months, being able to put, like in Anoka County, those questions that the board, or the public is asking, and drilling them into our financial data.
Perfect. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous.
For the item I asked to add to the agenda was the claims list for the fuel cards. Board, just to let you know that we did deploy the fuel cards to replace the gas cards that we had out there for the deputies. The amount of the fuel charges was $5,180.29.
And these fuel cards, these are the Wright Express, the WEX cards?
They're Fleet or Voyager? Voyager.
Oh, Voyager, okay, the same thing the state uses then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, we'll get a rebate on these. The sheriff has foregone a discount by their actual fuel cards, the gas BP holiday. So we're gonna make sure that we figure out how to translate some of that rebate back to them to offset the fuel charges. But it is being used quite a bit, so I put it on my timed agenda because we didn't put it in for your consent agenda. In the future, P cards, the fuel cards, and the abstracts will go on your consent agenda.
Yeah, Voyager is used by the State Highway Patrol, by the DNR, all the government agencies, yeah.
So is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Potter, second by Delight. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Items for consideration, Committee of the Whole minutes. Lee, could you take that, please?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Committee of the Whole met September 20th. Members present were all 5 board members, myself, HR Director Hess, Sue Virgin, Frank Madden. Representing the 49ers Union were Putnam and Klein, as well as Ron Basil, the business rep. Rob Fowler represented the Wright County Deputies Association, along with Boverhoos and Crystal Kramer. Rick Nelson was there to represent AFSCME Council 65, who represents our Health and Human Services employees, along with President Thompson. We also had Derek Vetch, Commissioner Candidate, attend. Quick summary of the meeting. The board and the group overheard presentations by each of these unions regarding their proposals for the upcoming negotiations. 49ers was presented by Mr. Basil. Wright County's Deputies Association was presented by Voverhoos and Crystal Kramer. And Council 65 was presented by Rick Nelson from the union. So informational item there. That's about a quick summary.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Motion by Potter, second by Delight. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Schedule Committee of the Whole meeting regarding compost facility.
Yes, Mr. Chair, as you know, we sustained some damage to that facility a while back. We've had several folks out on site to inspect it. We've now gotten some good answers from MCIT, the insurance group, as well as a proposal to reconstruct said facility. Really, staff are looking for a direction on how to move forward and what the board's wishes are. So feel, because this is a rather large project, that we should have the full board discuss. Looking at a couple different dates, I know next Tuesday we have the quarterly leadership committee following the board meeting. So we could do potentially the afternoon. Otherwise, we could look at some other dates.
About 1 p.m. on the 4th.
Tax forfeit is at that
Next
date,
week,
but I don't.
next Tuesday.
This is pretty important.
Afternoon.
There's a tax
The
forfeit
27th.
sale
1
in this
p.m. on the
room
4th.
Yes,
at 1, but we could meet elsewhere. So.
Mr. Chair,
Okay. Yeah?
there's a tax forfeit sale in this room at 1 o'clock, just to make sure that.
Okay.
you know where-
So we could just meet right back there at 1 o'clock then?
Sure. Yep.
1 p.m.?
1 p.m. on the 4th?
I'll make that motion.
I will second that.
Motion by Delight and second by Hewsome. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous.
You,
Well, authorized attendance at the,
wasn't the, okay, you get it.
mine's D. Mike, is this yours? C?
Yes, it is, Mr. Chair. This is the, thank you for allowing me, authorize attendance at Make It MSP Talent Summit. Since we are partners in this, I'm trying to engage them to have better dialogue with Wright County to ensure that they understand how we want to get bang for our buck. And it's just to keep our face in there because we're paying for it, so let's utilize it.
Are we still gonna be members? I thought we were talking about giving that up.
We have to have that other meeting first.
We are still members as of today.
You know, as long as that came up, didn't we, what is the date and time that came up for that other meeting?
26th.
Just so everybody's aware of that. We should maybe, note that as because there's gonna be a majority potentially and most likely,
Yes, Mr. Chair, we had planned that for the next, we didn't make this agenda's cutoff, we're planning it for next meeting.
Okay,
but
so
if
that'll
you
be
would,
on there. The
We can either
26th
do
at
it
what
then
time?
or do it now.
26 at 2? Well, we can go ahead, we'll put it on next time, but just so people can
Okay.
kind of get it in their book, and that way, between now and next week, they don't put something else in there. So it's gonna be on the 26th at 2 PM, where at, Lee?
We're still working on a room.
Okay, but it's
Somewhere
gonna be
here.
in this facility?
Yes, that's the
Okay.
plan.
Okay, but we'll make that, formalize that next Tuesday then, and have that on the agenda. But Mike, go ahead with your thing then, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, well, thank you, Mr. Chair. It's just, it's talking about the economic vitality of the region, building stronger talent pipeline. It's more to just keep us up to date, and this is, I've been attending quite a few of these greater MSP things to start with, and I'd like to follow through with this, and this is happening, 2 weeks before we meet with them anyway.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion, we authorize attendance for the MSP Talent Summit on 10/6,
I'll
or
second it.
10/10/16.
I'll second it, and I like the price on it too.
Was it free?
Yep.
No, we paid for it. Membership.
Prepaid, it's prepaid. Motion by Burrell, second by Delight. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. D, tomorrow's schedule. Was anybody else besides me planning on going to the Excel breakfast?
I was until I got our schedule, and then it was 8:30, and I have to leave for Breezy Point after our committee for the shack meeting. So
Well, yeah, and I was planning on going too, and it's from 7:30 to 9, and I see we got a meeting at 8:30. Is there any way can we take that 8:30 item at 9 and give ourselves a little more, Chris and I, a little more time there in the morning?
actually, I said that I couldn't make it because we got our,
Oh, you since told them you can't, but,
right, yeah, I said I wouldn't be able to make it because I would have just been there for
well.
30 minutes or so.
Exactly, that's,
Yeah.
You don't want to eat and run?
I didn't want to be too obvious.
I guess I'd like to attend it, but Mr. Hoffman, you're coming up to the podium here. Did you have a comment?
Commissioners, I don't know who else is on that agenda for 8:30, but if it's the sheriff's office one, the board will be here at 2 o'clock today, I believe, for another meeting. Would 1:30 today work?
Well, we can't go sooner because that would violate the open meeting law. We could push it back to like 9 AM or a different time, but we can't go sooner than that because then we don't have proper posting, but,
Different day.
My only thing is that I got to get up to Breezy Point at 1.
Todd, how long do you think do you have a presentation? I mean, you have some sorts of arguments you're gonna be making to the,
Basic arguments.
10 minutes is gonna be so maybe your whole item would be a 15, 20-minute deal, you think, or? Can we just move that back to 9 AM?
Good.
And then, that doesn't impact you really, because we'll
Well, we
still
should
start
be-
the 9:30 at 9:30, I'm thinking.
Right, then we should be done with that by 10:30, I'm guessing, right? 4 to 11?
Well,
I-
the building
I'm-
committee starts at 10.
Okay,
So, yeah, you'll be done.
yep, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and the Ways and Means won't be that
That's like
long.
an
It's just an
hour.
update, what's going on. And that can actually, that could get postponed too, the Ways and Means if it's a problem.
It
Yeah,
shouldn't
see
be,
the levy.
it shouldn't be that long of a,
No, it's just some clarifications.
So why don't we move the 8:30 back to 9, and at least then I'll be able to get most of the item over at Monticello. Is there a motion then to,
I will,
do we need a motion on that, or Lee, can you, I mean, we're not gonna be doing it before 8:30, we'll just start at 9, we're not,
Just notification.
because we actually never, we sent it to committee, we never set a time anyhow, but
Right, we'll notify the folks that
you
are
wanna
impact
notify,
relative, I mean, Hoffman's
Todd's
here,
been
of course.
notified, I don't know, Todd, was anybody coming with you from the sheriff's department? Okay, so let him know, obviously, and then let Lynette know that, Lynette probably won't have to come until about 9:15, how does that sound, Lee?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Advisory committee, advisory board updates, Commissioner Burrell.
Nothing.
I don't have anything either, other than Commissioner Burrell had suggested that we send thank you letters to the counties that we did tour, and we just toured
Crookston.
Carver.
Carver.
Polk.
Fulton.
Polk and then,
Carver,
but
too.
Carver last week. Then I think that's a good idea, just to send a thank you.
Yep.
And it was very, very educational down at Carver
Was.
last week. Other than that, I don't have anything.
Nothing earth-shattering here either. I'm gonna pass.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Last Friday, 7W Transportation met up in St. Cloud. This fall one is not earth-shattering anything, but we do have transportation alternative offerings out there, and Virgil has sent that out to all the city administrators throughout the county to see if there's anything to put on that. They can solicit for a project up until basically the end of October, and it goes through the process, and so it was another one of those projects. And we're looking at fast track, fast lane within the federal program, how that's gonna affect our funding in the future. We're looking good for 2020 on funding in 7W, and after that, it gets a little skinnier. But other than that, it was just a good meeting, well attended by those transportation experts.
Commissioner Potter, they're doing a study on County Road 19, right, up by the outlet mall.
Correct.
With the thoughts that mall of entertainment may be occurring out there. Did they have an idea when that study is going to be done, or is it done yet, do you know? Or a lot of it depending on if that mall of entertainment actually happens?
On the intersection of 70th, or County Road, New County Road 38 and 19, that was already kind of in a MnDOT study, and when it was announced, the project was announced, that's when the developers went down and met with the Governor Dayton and Commissioner Zelli on that, and now that caused it to be revamped a little bit, but that's still in the process of what they're gonna put out there, and it should be, I believe, February meeting, they'll have that all ironed out what that is.
Okay. Just curious on where that was. Thank you.
Anything else, Mike?
No, thank you.
Commissioner Houston?
We had Central Minnesota Mental Health meeting last night, and the executive director will be in Wright County on October 10th to meet with us, and so he's been getting to the different counties. He also, after the attack at the mall, there was several of their employees that went over to help work with some of the people, and they had some very positive responses, and Dr. Lee said he really felt like he was part of the community after that event. And things are just moving forward in a very positive way, and they're taking a good look at programs, continue to do that, and the numbers are coming in well, so all kinds of things going on up there all the time.
Quite a turnaround from the news we had a year and a half ago.
Yeah, it's been a very positive,
Good.
Dr. Lee is looking at everything.
He is.
He took lid off the pail and rolled everything out there, and puts a fresh look and a fresh perspective on everything. And you know what? We've been doing this program for 24 years, but you know what? Either maybe we're not doing it right, or maybe we don't need to do it anymore. And that's particularly what I like to see is that, you know what? Something needed to be done 24 years ago, maybe isn't critical now, or maybe someone else is doing it. And we don't need to fill that void, let somebody else. And so it's really a nice, new, fresh set of eyes that are looking at things. And whereas in the past, because we're not there on a daily basis and we're only there, you know, monthly or sometimes every other month, and we don't have the opportunity necessarily to see some of that stuff. And because he's there, he's seeing it, and because he's new, he's not married to any of that stuff. He's willing to let things go that ought to go, and that's great.
Yep.
Fresh set of eyes you're talking about.
Yeah.
And Mayor's Association last Wednesday, Commissioner Potter and I were there. Very good dinner. It was in Hanover. It was kind of a smaller group, but we learned that the last two cities, and I don't exactly know if this is every single city in Wright County. I don't know if it includes the tiny cities like South Haven, but have joined Trailblazers. So all the cities are on board.
WCAT.
Yeah, sorry,
WCAT.
WCAT, yeah. So, it was, but I didn't clarify. I don't think that means South Haven. But I'm not sure.
South
Okay.
Haven's now, they were pretty small.
Yeah. When they said every, I meant to ask and I didn't, so.
Yeah, I don't think Dayton's joined up yet either.
No, I don't think Dayton will probably be.
Mark doesn't want to lose those 6 votes.
I don't know, I didn't get any of those 6 votes. I shouldn't say that, I did get 2 of those 6 votes.
Is that the one district you lost?
Hmm?
You only got 2, so you actually lost that district?
Well,
The others didn't.
no, actually, I think everybody voted for themselves in that district.
Oh, okay.
So,
4 write-ins and 2 for you.
yeah, something like that.
That's okay. Anything else to come before the board today?
Mr. Chair, I apologize. There's one other item. Last week, Great River Regional Library Board, what was discussed and decided was that we were going to allow Sartell to go ahead with the book lockers at the library.
Nice.
The council, on a split vote, decided to go that way. We had a lot of impassioned people that wanted the library, and they thought if we do this, it won't happen there. But in the arguing and talking about the different proposals, I pointed out that the council that was elected by the people made the decision, this is the way they're going with their community center, and I was going to respect the vote that the council had made. And so I'm looking forward to that. They have a grant that's from an anonymous donor. It's going to pay for all of it, like $100,000.
So did Sartell get the grant?
Sartell got it from some anonymous
Oh,
donor.
good.
So they're not paying for these lockers, but it's going to be the first one, and we're going to see how this works. And
Good.
it's a good alternative to open up another library to see how well it does work.
Well, and I'm not sure where are those lockers going to exist at? What is the access going to be to them?
It'll be in the community center that's at Sartell's
Okay.
building as we speak.
So that probably would be open, what, 50, 60 hours a week, or how many?
They imagine it was going to be pretty much open all the time.
So you, in many ways, you'll have more access to service there than in a community that had a small library where I can only get in there and get my book for 20 hours a week. I have to get in there during those 20. Here I'll have 60 or 70 hours of opportunity to get to that location and access my materials that I've ordered online.
And Mike, they'll be able to order that online or call in and order a book or?
Correct. And the idea with the lockers, because it's all through digital, they needed the decision there because when you start to put the conduits where you put in the lockers, you want to make sure you have that communication link with those lockers, what's there. And I didn't go into the full detail of what it is, but it was imperative to get that done while they're doing construction because they're probably pouring the concrete today or this week, and they get that going.
And if-
They're excited
if this-
about getting
If this
moving.
works out, then we can do it, we may do it other areas.
And the reason they went this way is the community center is located too close to the St. Cloud Library, so you couldn't have a branch there.
Yeah, how far away is it?
Let's see,
It's like,
8 minutes.
yeah, I didn't think it was very
No,
far.
it
at
wasn't
all.
far enough away, and they just thought that this was a better, less expensive alternative. It isn't what some of the people wanted, but you have to side with the elected officials who, we all know, they're beholden to the taxpayers.
How did Lee vote on this?
He's in a different area.
Oh, I think.
So it wouldn't-
No, but I thought it was a spirited, meeting with that, a lot of it, like I say, impassioned people. We held the meeting at the Holiday Inn because, we still haven't gotten back into the main branch yet. But I was impressed with it. I'm gonna be real impressed when it gets up and running on how that works, and that might be the prototype for the future of some of the library delivery service.
Well, it may be an opportunity for Maple Lake, for example. Perhaps a small library in one of the rural cities that, so there's meeting rooms nearby this?
Correct.
So that would allow for programming if they wanted to take and do a program out in that
They're gonna have
library as
their
well.
own kind of library, their own community library, along with, it's a full community center, so it's, I thought it was a nice looking concept. And maybe that's the way to go for some, like a city of Zimmerman that turned down because they didn't want to build a full-fledged library. Maybe this will be something to come back with and say, yeah, this makes sense.
That's a concept I think that different areas are throwing around the community center, so there's a lot of other things, opportunities, and putting the library in there, so.
Well, overwhelmingly, people are going online, they're punching in their number on the back of their card, they're ordering a book or a DVD, and they're going and picking up at their library. And there wouldn't have to be a full-fledged library with staff with all these hours there to do that. This locker system would handle that just well. Like I say, potentially with expanded hours beyond what the library would be open, so.
And there, being this is the first one in the system, it'll be a good way to find out if it works or not.
Right.
And a more cost-effective way of delivering the service.
Okay, anything else to bring up today? There being no further business, we are adjourned at 9:43 a.m.